Good afternoon. I may or may not be Steve Scott. The top of the News Watch is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. And before we get on with the news, I'm going to give the traffic report. Forget that. I'm going to give the weather report, even though we've done the weather 5 times in a matter of 5 minutes. But what the hell? I'm Steve Scott. Traffic and weather together, we have a large marine layer because I'd like to say fog, but I can't because KCBS will kick the shit out of me if I were to say fog. Instead, I'll say marine layer. Isn't that just nice and mighty? In any event, the marine layer will be hanging around and it's going to be breezy outside, not only in and near the bay and the ocean, but inland too. When I say breezy, I'd like to say windy, but I can't say windy either. I got to say breezy because that's part of the KCBS Jenny Seelig word style. But before we get on with the news, we pause and get to you our very favorite sports anchor, the one and only Stephen Langford, who will be providing a 3-day-old sports report, making it sound live and direct, even though it isn't. Here is the one and only Mr. Stephen Langford with the sports report. Stephen, take it away.
Hi, this is Stephen Langford with the news of sports at the sports desk. The Russian women's soccer, they did very well in Leningrad, beating the United States 4-3. I'm Stephen Langford at the sports desk. By the way, that audio courtesy 95.7. But before I get on with more sports, let's go back to Steve Scott.
I'm Steve Scott, again pretending to be a real news anchor on the radio, thereby giving you this very detailed broadcast voice. But before we get on with the news, let us go to our own wonderful award-winning foodie chap, the one and only Liam Neeklin, who will give us today's foodie chap report. Hi, I'm foodie chap Liam Neeklin over at Poo-Poo's at Pier 39. I'm devouring a wonderful piece of Atlantic cod with my fish and chippies. Put a little vinegar on it with some luscious white Anglo tartar sauce. And there you have exquisite fish and chips with a lovely glass of wine, Riesling. I munch here, think about the wonderful food at Poo-Poo's. Now, I can even have the most mundane, artificial means of food here, but I can make it exciting because of this British accent I exude on you, because that is what I give you, because I am the foodie chap. Now we get back to Steve Scott, who will provide for you the news. Yes, back at the News Watch today, I'm Steve Scott. We go to Millbrae, where reporter Deacon Daka will give to you the fifth report today about parents taking their children on a bicycle trip in summer. Now, we mind you give you this report, even though it's not really news. We have to fill time. Otherwise, we'll have to give you more commercials. And we wouldn't want to do that here at KCBS, would we? I'm Steve Scott. I came from New York. This is my commentary. I was provided a form here by good old Jenny Seelig. Why? To talk like this. Why do I talk like this? Well, it's just my lifestyle. I don't normally talk like this, just in the KCBS mode. They want me to talk like a radio anchor. But folks, I'm consistent. Why? Because even when I'm not doing the anchor duties at KCBS, when I just go have a lovely lunch or two with some friends outside there in the community, I am the same guy with my voice. When I have the most basic of meals at a local cafe, I even order in the tone like this. For example, the waiter would come up to me and say, "What can I get you today, customer?" And I'll say something like, "Yes, I'd like some scrambled eggs and a tuna sandwich with just mayonnaise, no tomato, no lettuce, and a gobbledygook of some fries and a delicious Diet Coke. Please get me that as soon as possible, and I will be forever, forever devoted and enlightened by your wonderful service. Thank you. The tuna sandwich was fantastic, and the eggs were scrambled, and the Coke was nice and tasty, and that had that special zingy. But I must leave you a nice tip, and I got to go back to work at KCBS so I can talk like this, and God knows whatever I do with traffic and weather together." Before we leave the premises today, this has been a satirical look at the sounds of KCBS. And please, please don't be alarmed. Don't call your neighbors, your friends, or your enemies. Just be enlightened to know that I'm Steve Scott and you're not. Have a great day. And remember, traffic on the eights.